Juliet on LinkedIn asks, have all firms completed their recruiting process for summer 2022 internships? No, I don't think so. A lot of firms have. I would say the vast majority of the elite boutique banks have. I'm talking about here in the U.S., by the way. In the U.K., the process is just starting, right? And Asia also process is just starting. Like those tend to start a bit later. But in the U.S., most of the elite boutiques are done. Probably like a couple exceptions here and there. Bulge bracket banks, some of them are done. Some of them are ongoing as we speak and handing out interviews and super days and offers as we speak, but technically still recruiting. Middle market banks, there's probably still a bunch left. Some who maybe even haven't started, but there's also some middle market banks that have already finished as well. And so, but no, the answer is no. Like, there are definitely firms that are still recruiting for summer 2022. Also, I would say it depends on if you're like an international student or not, right? Like if you're an international student and you need sponsorship, then you're going to be more limited in terms of the options that you have because you can only apply for the firms that will actually sponsor, right? Which is typically going to be the elite boutiques and the bulge bracket banks and maybe some of the middle market banks. So for that, you're going to have to probably lock something up by like, end of sophomore summer or like early junior year at the latest. If you go later than that, you might run out of options, right? But if you're not an international student, then technically you have, in theory, all the way up until the start of summer 2022 to line up an offer, right? But the urgency in the matter is that because there are a ton of like regional boutique banks or like lower middle market banks, like the one that Drizzy Drake was asking about on Instagram, right? But like there are a lot of smaller banks out there that are going to recruit later on, right? Like they're going to recruit, even through like the second half of junior year. But typically, the longer you wait to secure the offer, the worse the offer is going to be, right? And by worse, I just mean like you have to go further and further downstream to smaller and smaller banks because all the bigger ones have been filled up already, right? And so eventually, you get to the point where you're kind of like scraping the bottom of the barrel, and you just don't really want to do that, right? So you should definitely, I don't know where you're at in the recruiting process, but it's definitely not too late. Like if you're recruiting for summer 2022, I wouldn't give up just yet, but definitely having that sense of urgency is the right thing to do to make sure that you end up with the best offer you could possibly get, right? And then like whatever offer you get, again, for the summer, it's not the end of the world. If that's not like the offer that you're ultimately 100% satisfied with, you can always just like do a good job during your summer internship, get the return offer, and then try to recruit again for full-time, right? Like we have students that have done it. Like I had a client who went to Minnesota, so total non-target school. When he came to us pretty late. He came to his junior year, so a lot of the bulge bracket and elite boutique banks had finished recruiting already at that point, so couldn't really do much about that. But at that point, like we just focused on getting him the best bank he could still get at that time, right? So he ended up during his junior year, he got a summer internship offer at FTP, Financial Technology Partners, which is more of a middle market bank, and they specialize only in fintech, but they're really, really good at it. Like they're one of the best fintech banks out there. They compete with a lot of the big banks. And so he did that for a summer. And then after the summer, he decided not to go back to FTP, and he recruited again. And he got 2 full-time offers, one from Jefferies and one from Citi, right? So now he's working at Citi in their technology investment banking group, which obviously is a phenomenal outcome, right? So my point is, just because you end up interning somewhere for the summer doesn't mean that's where you have to end up for full-time. It just means that that's the most likely place you will end up, because if you do a good job, they'll give you a return offer. And a lot of people, if they're happy with it, they're satisfied, they'll just take the offer and they don't have to go through recruiting again, right? But you don't have to, right? So the goal is always just get the best offer you can for the summer. Then the better your summer offer is, the easier it'll be for you to try to parlay that into an even better bank for full-time if you choose to do that, right? Hey there, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more customized advice that's tailored for your specific situation, then I invite you to book a free strategy session with our team at the link below. We'll talk to you soon.